Hello everyone, Ron here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and I'm back with Shakespeare, this time Sonnet 127. And this is the first of the so-called Dark Lady sequence, and I think you'll see why in a moment when I talk a little bit more about the sonnet. I'm going to discuss the sonnet briefly before I get into reading it. Also, there'll be a slide just before to remind you of some of the components of a Shakespeare sonnet, sort of how it's structured, etc. But I'm not going to go heavily into the academic side of things for a couple of reasons. One is I don't want to suck the life out of the sonnet. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to relax and extract what you can from it. Also, I don't proclaim to be a Shakespeare expert. Yes, I've studied Shakespeare at the university level, and I do teach Shakespeare to some of my students, but the plays primarily. That's one of the reasons I'm getting into the sonnets is because I didn't do a lot with the sonnets before, so very interested in reading through them and seeing what we can extract from them. So basically, Shakespeare, as with all writing, should be enjoyed first. Number one. That's the main thing. So I want you to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy Shakespeare plays, go see a play. It'll make a huge difference in how you see Shakespeare and understand it. The plays, after all, were meant to be played. So if you can see a live play, that's probably the best, but there are some good movies and videos made of Shakespeare's plays as well. And that can help you enter into Shakespeare a little bit easier than what you might have had to do at school. And some teachers are great at getting the excitement going and getting everyone interested. Others, not so much. So I think that's why sometimes the life can be taken out of Shakespeare and people think it's dry and boring and horrible and work. And also, don't worry about understanding every single line or every single word. It's not necessary. I look for major themes. I look for what connects with you because in a lot of Shakespeare are people's humans' strengths and weaknesses, and all of the things like love and war and hate and compassion, etc., that people go through all the time. So it's still very relevant, even though it was written hundreds of years ago. In this particular sonnet, the narrator is talking about beauty and about the changing ideals of beauty and how, according to him, they're moving from the fair to the darker, the dark hair, dark eyes, maybe dark skin as well, I'm not sure. In the first quatrain, he's talking about beauty being, or rather black, being a beauty's next heir. And in the second quatrain, he's sort of ranting or railing against makeup and changing one's looks to have a sort of false beauty. And this is why he thinks the natural beauty of his mistress, which he mentions in the third quatrain, with raven black eyes, etc., is becoming the new sense of beauty or something to aspire to rather than the made up faces and all of the other things that people do to make themselves look beautiful, but they were not born that way. They were not naturally beautiful. So as I read through, just see what you can extract from it. Also, just enjoy the language, the rhyme scheme, etc. And I think that you'll find it much more enjoyable than maybe you have in previous occasions or experiences with Shakespeare. Of course, a lot of people love Shakespeare as well. So if you're one of those people, this should be fun too. Just before I get into all of that, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, that helps the channel a lot. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and liked videos and commented. I really do appreciate it. I read all of your comments and I answer as many as I possibly can. And also, if you want to send me an email, that's fine too. All the information will be below for my website, my email. I do teach online as well as in person. So if you're interested in that, I offer a free information meeting, so you can set something like that up and we'll just jump on Zoom and we can have a chat. It's totally free. All right, let's get into Sonnet 127. Just a quick reminder of what a Shakespearean sonnet contains. Generally, a sonnet is a form of verse with these main characteristics. One stanza of 14 lines. I've broken it into screens, so you're going to see three quatrains, each on its own screen, and then the couplet at the end. Usually written in iambic pentameter. Iambic foot is an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable, and a pentameter means there's 5 feet. Structured in 3 quatrains and a final couplet with the rhyme scheme A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. The final rhyming couplet often sums up or gives a surprising twist. Shakespeare, Sonnet 127. In the old age, black was not counted fair, or if it were, it bore not beauty's name. But now is black beauty's successive heir, and beauty slandered with a bastard shame. For since each hand hath put on nature's power, fairing the foul with art's false borrowed face, sweet beauty hath no name, no holy bower, but is profaned if not lives in disgrace. Therefore my mistress's eyes are raven black, her eyes so suited, and they mourners seem, at such who not born fair no beauty lack, slandering creation with a false esteem. Yet so they mourn becoming of their woe, that every tongue says beauty should look so. Well, there we go. Shakespeare Sonnet 127. What did you think of that? And what do you think of beauty? Of course, the idea of beauty changes all the time, right? Society changes. Sometimes, if you're really big, you're beautiful. If you're bone thin, you're beautiful, and everything in between. And of course, clothing styles and makeup that the narrator was railing against, that changes from time to time. Yeah, it's very subjective. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder is an old expression, and there's a lot of truth to that. There's also truth, I think, to, there's sort of an objective, maybe physical beauty. Again, even that has a wide, wide range, but when you get to know a person, their personality changes the way you see them physically as well, even though their physical attributes haven't changed. When you know the person, if the person is caustic and horrible, you start to see them physically as not as beautiful. And if the person is amazing and friendly and great person, then their physical attributes start looking more beautiful to you, even though they haven't changed at all one way or the other. So there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of it is our own psychology and the way we think about it. At least that's my thoughts. You can let me know what you think, both of the sonnet, but just your own ideas of beauty and how it changes and what you think about it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you to all the viewers who have subscribed. It's growing nicely. I really do appreciate it. I read all of your comments and I answer them all. You can always send me an email as well. In the description, there's information on my website. I do teach online and in person if you're local, back at the big table here. But I've taught students from all over the world, Australia and Spain and China, and, well, almost everywhere over the years. I've been doing this for 28 years, although I wasn't online too much for the first, say, 10, I'm guessing. I'm not sure when I first started online tutoring, but let me know what you think of Shakespeare, this sonnet, or anything else. Otherwise, just keep learning, keep having fun, have an amazing day. It's Ron from L.T.L Tutoring Central. Until next time, bye-bye for now.